Hi, I'm Andrew. I teach, learn and coach in the field of modern languages. As I've mentioned before, I generally don't teach grammar explicitly. However, sometimes it is necessary. And the title of this video, or the topic, is Extreme Adjectives. Now, this may be a grammar point, however, I'm going to try and treat it more as vocabulary. Welcome to Communicative English and my classroom, which is actually my kitchen until I can move to another country or go on holiday to record some real live language lessons. Now, this subject may seem intermediate. However, if you have an intermediate, upper intermediate or advanced level of English, this video is for you. As always, I'm going to go deep into this subject and really dive into this. And we'll look at nearly all the aspects of this interesting topic. So, extreme adjectives, well, they differ from normal adjectives. Extreme adjectives are also referred to as non-gradable adjectives. Now, I don't want this to be a linguistics lesson. I don't want to teach you about the language. I want to ensure that you're comfortable communicating in English. So this lesson will help you to avoid overuse of the word very. We'll look at words which go together, often referred to as collocations, and this will make your spoken and written English much better. Obviously, this will also help with listening and reading too. However, before we continue, we need to know what an adjective is. So, Merriam-Webster defines an adjective as a word belonging to one of the major form classes or word classes in any of numerous languages and typically serving as a modifier of a noun to denote a quality of the thing named, to indicate its quantity or extent, or to specify a thing as distinct from something else. Okay, so let's take the phrase the red car. Well, the word red is an adjective. Car is the noun, and the adjective is simply telling us what colour the car is here, the red car. So, what are extreme adjectives? How do I identify them? And how do I use them? Good questions, Andrew. Let's take a look. Well, extreme adjectives don't use the word very, so you can stop overusing this word, and using very all the time gets extremely boring. So, extreme adjectives, they do use other intensifiers such as, you could say I'm very tired, okay? Or I am totally shattered. Or just I'm shattered. These intensifiers and adjectives often form collocations, words which go together, such as I'm totally shattered. But you wouldn't say I'm rather shattered. Doesn't work. Well, you may in some contexts such as upper class establishments, but day to day you wouldn't use rather to describe being tired or shattered in this case very often in the UK. So let's switch over to some slides so I can now demonstrate these words in context and you can see the spelling. So I hope you're ready. Remember, you can always pause the video or take notes. See you after the slides. Okay, so some adjectives in English are gradable. That means you can have different degrees or levels of that quality. For example, let's look at this example of cold and freezing. So as we can see here, the weather can be a little cold, rather cold, very cold, extremely cold, or freezing. And you can't use a little freezing, rather freezing, extremely freezing. It doesn't work. Okay? Because freezing is a non-gradable adjective. So let's take a look. So, regular and extreme or non-gradable adjectives. These are the commonly used ones. So, for example, we've got angry and furious. So you can say, I'm very angry, I'm extremely angry, or I'm furious. Okay, and there are other examples here. Let's take crowded. You know, this train is extremely crowded, or it's packed. But you can't say it's very packed. It doesn't work. So these extreme adjectives are non-gradable. You just use them instead of saying I'm very angry, for example, or this movie is very funny. It's hilarious. Now let's have some more examples. So you can say something is very good, it's extremely good, or it's fantastic, it's wonderful. Oh, it's really hot outside. Or it's boiling outside, it's roasting, it's scorching outside. I'm really hungry, or I'm ravenous, I'm starving. Well, I hope this slideshow is very interesting or fascinating for you. And then there are some other examples there. And again, oh, I'm really tired, or I'm exhausted, I'm shattered. And these are the most commonly used sort of regular or extreme non-gradable adjectives. So, with extreme adjectives, you don't use very or rather or anything like that. So, I'm very tired would be I'm shattered, I'm exhausted. I'm very hungry, I'm starving, I'm ravenous. So, I'll pass you back to Andrew now. And here are some more examples on the screen. Hi, I'm back. Hello again, Andrew, I hear you say. That was a very educational slideshow, thank you. But what are you going to show me now? Well, I'm pleased that you answered that question. After this short interruption on my behalf, we're going to go back to look at which intensifiers work with some extreme adjectives. Let's put this vocabulary in some context. That means another set of slides. See you on the other side, after the version of Andrew which I recorded earlier. Ready, set, go! Okay, so now we're going to look at adverbs. So, what's an adverb, Andrew? Well, interesting question. An adverb is defined as a word that modifies or describes a verb, such as he sings loudly. An adjective, very tall, can be modified. Another adverb can be modified, ended too quickly, or even a whole sentence. Fortunately, I had brought an umbrella. So adverbs modify other words. Yeah, they grade them. They tell us to what extent these words are being affected. And adverbs often end in ly, but some, such as fast, well, they look exactly the same as an adjective. So adverbs and adjectives. So use different adverbs with extreme adjectives. With regular adjectives, we can use these adverbs. So we've got a little, a bit, pretty, slightly, fairly, somewhat, rather, quite, so, really, very, extremely, immensely, intensely, and hugely, to give a few examples. So let's put it in a little bit of context with I'm rather hungry, or I'm very hungry. This room's a bit dirty. This room is extremely dirty. Or we're a little tired. We're immensely tired. So adverbs with extreme adjectives, well, the adverbs we can use to give additional emphasis to the extreme adjective would be absolutely, completely, totally, and utterly. For example, I'm absolutely furious. Oh, we're completely exhausted. Or the movie was utterly terrifying. Now we're going to look at some adverbs and extreme adjectives. Try to use them as I present them, as they're not always interchangeable, such as we can say something is utterly terrible, but completely terrible, well, no, that just doesn't sound good. So we can look at these. We've got totally furious, absolutely awful, totally dreadful, absolutely horrible, utterly terrible, absolutely enormous, absolutely gigantic, absolutely freezing, totally packed, absolutely filthy, absolutely hilarious, absolutely fantastic, completely wonderful, oh, it's absolutely boiling, absolutely roasting, totally scorching, absolutely ravenous but totally starving. And I hope this is completely fascinating. So try to use them like this with these adverbs. Now a little bit of recap. So there are no comparatives or superlatives with extreme adjectives. With normal adjectives, we can use these to compare two or more things, such as my house is big, my neighbour's house is bigger than mine, as a comparative. My parents' house is the biggest on the street as a superlative. With extreme adjectives, we don't use comparatives and superlatives. So we could say my parents' house is enormous, but we can't say my parents' house is more enormous or the most enormous. It just doesn't work. And we use different adverbs with extreme adjectives. So with normal adjectives, we looked at things like a little, a bit, slightly, fairly, rather, very, extremely, immensely, intensely, and hugely. So I'm rather hungry, I'm very hungry. This room's a bit dirty, this room is extremely dirty, and so on. And we mentioned that we can't say I'm rather starving or I'm extremely starving. We cannot use these adverbs with extreme adjectives. But we did look at absolutely, completely, utterly, totally, and so on. So I'm absolutely furious, we're completely exhausted, the movie was utterly terrifying. The words pretty and really can be used with both regular and extreme adjectives. So the room is pretty dirty, the room is pretty filthy, the party is really crowded, the party is really packed. That's okay. So I hope that covers that. Now I'll hand you back. And I'm back. Hello again. Superb, Andrew. I really enjoyed that. That's what you were saying to me, isn't it? In fact, I'm sure that you just hit the like, subscribe and bell notification symbols. You did that, didn't you? Well, if you haven't, please do hit like, subscribe and bell notification icons. Okay, Andrew, I've done that. What are you going to show me now? I hear you ask. First, thank you. And second, forget the intensifiers we just looked at, because now we're going to learn about absolute adjectives, and they don't take intensifiers. Let's go to some slides. Back to Andrew. And again, absolute adjectives. Another type of extreme adjective is called there's an absolute adjective. These words, the answer is either yes or no. For example, dead. You can't be a little bit dead or very dead. It's either yes, you're dead, or no, you're not dead. There's no sort of gradability. There's no way to distinguish this. Now here's a list of absolute adjectives and their opposites, and this list isn't complete. It only shows some commonly used examples. So here we go. We've got things like complete, incomplete, equal, unequal, essential, non-essential, or extraneous. Dead, alive, fatal, non-fatal, first, last or final, finite, infinite, full, empty, perfect, imperfect, unique, not unique, known, unknown, true, false, married, well, single, divorced, separated, widowed, ideal, not ideal. Now, you might hear expressions like these in spoken English. That's very true. This is the very first time. This shirt is more unique than that one. Now these are just things that you'll hear in spoken English. And this is just to provide emphasis, really. And that's it. So I hope you found this explanation fascinating. Now, back to Andrew. I've been Andrew, your professional language teacher and language coach. These videos draw upon years of research and experience. If you'd like to know more, I'll link to my books in the description. If you'd like to help me with English or Spanish, or maybe help you develop your understanding of language acquisition, or to develop your skills and techniques as a language teacher or language department, or to any language related goal you have, well, then I offer you my professional language coaching service. I'll link to my website and my Facebook below. Also, if you have any questions or any content you would like me to cover, please write it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't already, please hit the like button. You can also subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you know when I upload more content. Also, if you really like this video, then why not PayPal me or buy me a coffee? The links are in the description. I'll see you next time. And if there's any area of grammar or vocabulary you would like me to make a video about, then please leave a comment below. Until then, I shall see you next time. Bye bye.